Hi, I'm Caley Alyssa, and this is Total Body Engagement. All you need is yourself and your yoga mat. So once you're ready, come on back and let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna begin lying down on our backs. So take the feet out in front of you, just come all the way to lie down, have your knees bent. So we'll start with little tilts of the pelvis. So you're lifting the pelvis up an inch off the ground, and then you let it drop with a thud back down onto the mat. So you wanna be able to feel your glutes, your hamstrings, your thighs shake, so they're loose. You're not controlling the drop. I can always tell who's ADD or even a little OCD because they always try to control and really manage their hips in this position. You just wanna let them loose and hang. So just let them loose. And you can start to tap a little faster. So we're just stimulating the very base of the tailbone and the spine. We're gonna use the whole body in just a bit. It's just to kind of awaken the low back. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now glue your hips down to the yoga mat. On your inhale, you stick out your belly and your chest. And as you exhale, you're gonna contract the belly and push the back down into the mat beneath you. We'll do this a few times. Inhale, the belly comes out. Exhale, we pull the belly in. Again, inhale. And exhale. 2 more like this, and then we'll add on. Exhale. And last one, inhale. And exhale. Now lift the hips all the way up, inhale. And on the exhale, you slowly round down from your upper back to your mid back to your low back and your hips. Glue the hips to the mat. Inhale, stick out the belly, arch the back. Exhale, contract the belly. Inhale, lift your hips all the way up. And on the exhale, we slowly round down from upper to mid to low back and to hips. Inhale, stick out the belly, arch the back. Exhale, contract the belly, push the back down. Inhale, lift the hips all the way up. Exhale, rounding from upper back to mid back to low back. Now we add in, bring the arms down by your sides. Inhale, stick out the belly, arch the back. Exhale, push the back down into the mat. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms all the way up, palms face the ceiling. Exhale, slowly round from upper back to mid back as you lower the arms to low back and to hips. Inhale, stick out the belly, push the shoulders down. Exhale, contract the belly, push the back down. Inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, slowly lower from upper back to mid back to low back to hips. Glue the arms and shoulders down. Inhale, stick out the belly, arch the back. Exhale, contract the belly, push the spine down. Inhale, lift all the way up. Squeeze your glutes as you rise, reach the arms up. Exhale, slowly lower from upper to mid to lower. Last time. Glue the arms and shoulders down. Inhale, stick out the belly, arch the back. Exhale, contract the belly, push the spine down. Inhale, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, lift the arms all the way up. And then exhale, slowly we come all the way back down to the mat. Okay, good. Pull the knees into the chest. Rock side to side on your low back. And then from here, rock forward and backward along your spine. And just rock forward and backward like 5 or 6 times. So I want you to massage your back as you go. Massage the erectors on your back, your kidney band, the sacral area. And on the last one, come up to seated. Cross your legs. So we'll take Sukhasana, a cross-legged seat, and you want the legs to be crossed about mid-calf. So as opposed to at the ankles, mid-calf or mid-shin. Take your hands and grab hold of the knees here. So we're gonna channel our inner seaweed. I want you to imagine that you were at the bottom of the ocean floor, that you're tethered to the floor through your root system, but that the top was free to move with the ocean current. So we're going to use the tilting of the pelvis as our root, as our tether in the hips. And then our spine is going to be able to move and to flow a little bit here. So hands to the knees. We're going to work on that tilt, that sort of ocean-like wave in our spine. So inhale, tilt pelvis forward anteriorly. Stick out the belly, the chest. Take a big breath. And on your exhale, posterior tilt to the pelvis, round into the belly and the spine, chin to chest. So we do this a few times. Inhale to come forward. And exhale to go back. Now you can close your eyes if it helps you as you move. I want you to feel along the spine, noticing if there are areas that are resistant to move, noticing if there are areas that are harder to access, if there's congestion, if there's any stuck spots, if there's any injurious spaces. And you can move much slower in those areas. And we'll just do 1 or 2 more of these. And on your last one, you bring your spine back into a neutral position. Okay, good. Now from here, we're going to start to do some circular motions with the spine as well. So you just kind of roll your torso in one direction a few times. And then you can, once you've done that 3 or 4 times, reverse and go the opposite direction. So really making sure the spine and the torso is prepared for the rest of our practice. And then we'll come forward onto our hands and knees. Okay. Once you get into your hands and knees, draw circles with your hips. It's the hips now are moving. And we just rock from one direction to the other a few times. Going back and forth. Good. And then coming back to center, to neutral. From here, tuck the toes underneath behind you, push the hips back to the heels, so you actually get a stretch in the arches of the feet. And we'll slowly begin to lift up into downward facing dog. So you can keep your knees bent in down dog, you can have the legs straight, whatever feels the best in your body today. Might be different than what's normal for you. And just kind of analyze and decide what's best. When you're ready, it's really simple. We'll just step the right foot forward, drop the back knee down onto the yoga mat, and untuck the back toes. So I'm going to push the top of my back foot down into the ground. From here, I want to kind of walk my right foot over an inch or two and let the hips descend towards the mat and to lift the chest high. Now, once my hips are low, I'm going to draw my belly in, roll the shoulders open. Now, from here, I retuck the back toe and slowly begin to lift and straighten the back leg. And I'm just going to rock forward and backward along the knee. Forward and backward a couple more times. Let the back knee return to the ground, this time keeping the toes tucked under. Walk your hands up to your front knee and thigh and lift the torso up. So now we're going to get into the shoulders a little bit here, because we're going to use these later on for a nice big back bend. So take your arms up, interlace the fingers behind the head, and then squeeze the elbows in and lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. And as you lift the elbows up, you could see if the hips could descend a little lower. Draw the navel in a little higher. Shift your gaze up. Now, so the head is leaning in the hands like a little hammock. If you can keep the head supported there, you could invert the palms, extend the arms to straight. Feel the side bodies get really long. And then exhale, go ahead and release the hands down to the mat. Straighten the back leg and step all the way back into your downward facing dog. Just wiggle your hips, pedal out the feet, bend the knees. And then really simple, second side. We'll step the left foot forward. Drop the back knee down, untuck the toes to begin. Walk your left foot over just an inch or so, and then lift the chest. Let the hips kind of descend towards the ground, and the chest lift. Good, and then from here, retuck the back toes, lift the knee, extend the leg to straight, and you can kind of wiggle a little bit on the back leg, forward and backward. From here, we'll drop the back knee down onto the mat, keeping the toes tucked. Walk your hands up to your front knee and lift up. So I actually want you to lift out of the low lunge just a little bit. And after you lift out of the low lunge, you can pull your inner thighs together. Okay, take the hands, bring them behind the head. Squeeze your elbows in and up. Once you've got that, you can bend a little deeper back into that low lunge. And then you can start to lean your head back into that little hammock. Lift the chest higher, lift the elbows higher. And if it feels good to you, you could extend the arms to straight. Invert your palms up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath. On your exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Re-extend the back leg to straight and step all the way back into your downward facing dog. Good. From down dog, slowly roll forward into plank position. And from plank, we'll lower all the way down onto the bellies. Take the arms out in front of you. Have your pinky fingers down towards the ground, and then bring your forehead to the yoga mat. Push the hips down into the mat. Take an in-breath. And on your exhale, we'll lift the legs, the arms, the head, and the chest. Hold here and breathe. Feel the big toe side of the foot lifting higher than the pinky toe side of the foot. Take your arms wide, palms facing forward, and then see how far back you could pull the arms behind you. Push the hips down to bend the knees. Imagine the backs of the hands touching the outer ankles. Good, and then release. Push yourself back all the way into your child's pose, and from child's pose into downward facing dog. And once you get there, just wiggle around, shift your hips again side to side. And again, really simple. Step your right foot up to the top of the mat. This time we come up to Crescent Lunge, taking the hands to the low back space in crescent. Elbows are going to draw towards each other behind the body. And as the elbows pull in, the shoulders draw back. We can bend a little deeper into the front knee, and you can start to lift the chest and head up. Feel the left leg turn on, squeeze the glute. Low back supported. Breathe. Make sure your front body is strong as well. Your front core is working, side core is working. Back core is for sure working. And then go ahead and release. Hands down to the mat. Step all the way back into your down dog. Wiggle it out. Second side, step the left foot forward. Come up to Crescent Lunge. So again, hands to the low back space. Draw the elbows towards each other. Lift the chest higher. Bend the front knee. Make sure your back leg is super active. Squeeze the butt cheek. Lift the chest. Whew. Drop down a little deeper. Almost lost it there. Good, and then from here, release your hands down to the mat. Step back to plank position. So just hold plank for a moment. I want you to really pull in and up through the belly. Push into the palms of the hands, so much so that you could actually start to look for your belly button. Round your upper back. Lift up right between the shoulder blades. Hold. Good, and then push all the way back into your downward facing dog. All right, from down dog, drop the knees down to the mat for a moment. Bring your elbows down to the mat. And we're going to slide back into Sphinx position. So once your elbows are on the ground, you want to make sure the shoulders stack right over the elbows. And from Sphinx position, we push the hips fiercely down into the yoga mat and draw the belly in and up away from the mat. So I'm not sticking my belly out, I'm actually lifting it up. Now I can try to pull the shoulders back and the chest forward a little bit in Sphinx position. Okay, so push the left leg down really vigorously into the mat so that you could lift your right leg up. Feel the posterior chain on the right leg turn on, the glute, the hamstring, all of it. Keep your belly engaged, keep pushing the hips down. Bend the right knee. Push the hips down even more. Get the left leg stronger. Draw the belly in. Chest forward. Last 3, 2, and 1. Release. That's hard work. Okay, second side. So hips push down. Your core is active. The shoulders are drawing back, so the back core is active. Chest is really broad and spacious. Engage the legs. Engage the belly. Slowly begin to lift the left leg. Keep it straight for now. Left leg straight until you feel the glute and the hamstring turn on. Once you've got that, you can bend the left knee. You could try to push the hip down, push the right leg down to lift the left knee higher. Keep pushing the pelvis into the mat beneath you. Squeeze the butt cheeks. Pull the chest forward. 3, 2, and 1. Release. All right. From here, push back into child's pose. Just take a rest. Forehead to mat. Wiggle the hips. Good. And then from child's pose, come back into down dog. Walk your feet a little wider than your hips. Bring your hands back to your feet and squat down into malasana. This is a really good reset for the back body here after all that strength we just did. And then we'll translate into a little more front body strength. And this is going to help us as we move into our peak pose. We're going to be working with dancer on the mat, on the belly, and then a standing version of dancer that's hopefully new to you. So we'll try it and see how it goes. So from our squatting position, come back into your down dog. Bring your forearms onto the yoga mat. And then walk yourself out into your forearm plank. Forearm plank position. And once you get into forearm plank, drop the right knee. And then drop the left knee. Drop the right knee and the left knee. And we're just going to do this over and over again. So the hips stay neutral. We're just pedaling out the knees, keeping the low belly really strong, engaged, side to side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, drop both knees down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Come back onto your belly. And this time, take the arms out in front of you. Okay, so the palms will touch here in this position. The goal is to get your arms and your ears in line with each other so that you're not lifting the head much higher than the arms. So keep that in mind as we move into this next version of total body engagement. So forehead to the mat. Bend the elbows so that your prayer position points up towards the ceiling. Make sure that the elbows stay about shoulders distance and they don't come out here to chicken wing arms, because then your shoulders will internally rotate. We want the shoulders neutrally rotated almost to external rotation. All right, so push the hips down just like you did in Sphinx, activating the legs. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, slowly begin to lift the right leg. And then lift the head, the chest, and the elbows up off the mat. Now, bend the right knee. Lift the foot higher. Push the hips down lower. Push your left leg higher. Elbows up, chest up. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Okay, turn your head to one side and rest. Wiggle your hips side to side. Dancer, man, on the floor. It's tough stuff. And then we're going to just take a little rest. So arms to cactus. Slide your right knee up to your right elbow. Look over your right shoulder and just rest here. Okay, and then we'll come back to center and set up for our second side. So arms out in front of you, palms touch, and forehead to mat. All right, push your hips and pelvis down into the ground, draw your belly in, bend the elbows, take an in-breath. On your exhale, push down into the right leg to lift the left leg up, keeping the legs straight, push the pelvis and hips down. Lift the head, the chest, the elbows up. Now, bend the left knee. Lift the knee higher, keep the hips down. Reach your fingers for your foot. Breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down and rest. Wiggle your hips. Take your arms out to cactus. Slide your left knee up to your left elbow. And just rest here. Should feel really good. Breathe. All right, and then we come back to center. Push yourself up to a seat. Sitting on the heels. So we're going to try what we just did on the floor. standing. But before we do, I want to get your front body a little bit more active. So we've been doing a lot of back body work and kind of intermixing tiny bits of that front body. So a little more push of the front body into our standing dancer pose. So come over onto your back, pull your knees into your chest, and straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Now, take your hands and reach them up towards your feet. Don't grab, just reach, and then lift your hips up just a half an inch off the floor. I want you to just hold here for a moment or two, lifting up. Good, and then lower the hips down, okay? Now, like you had a rope right in between your feet, I want you to start to climb this imaginary rope. You're gonna keep lifting higher and higher every time you grab. Just gonna go side to side a few times. Working on that front body, anterior core. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, reach up, lift the hips up, hold it. And come down, okay. Rock and roll up. Come all the way up to standing. Come to the top of your yoga mat. So we're going to work on that dancer pose now. So you've got your front body. We've been working a lot on the back body. This will help us get into it. So this is real dancer. Without grabbing your foot and yanking it into you, you're going to work to build your own strength, which you've been doing this entire class, and you'll get further faster. You'll see. It might be challenging at first, but if you keep practicing, it'll get easier. All right, so we'll start on the right leg. So bend the right knee. Reach your arms up and bend your elbows. Try to keep the elbows hugging in so the shoulders can open a little bit. Knees together at first, belly in, and then slowly begin to lift the right foot up. And as you lift the right foot up, reach the right fingers down. As you do that, lift the chest. Breathe for 5. Total body working here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Come out of it. Shake it out. Just gonna hold here for a minute. So this is really tough stuff. This is not easy at all. You want to picture eventually one day the fingers and the toes touching, okay? Let's try the second side. So we're going to ground down through the right leg. The standing leg we want strong, just like the straight leg was on the mat when we did our dancer pose. Same thing here. So standing leg strong, bend the left knee, reach your arms up, palms together, elbows bent. Slowly start to lift the foot higher. Lift the chest higher, pull the belly in. Work the fingers and toes towards each other. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Okay, shake it out. Take your feet really wide, like a little bit wider than the hips. Bend your knees, round your spine. Then interlace your fingers behind your skull, where the neck and the skull meet. Hug your elbows together. And let the head hang in traction. Good, and once you've done that for a few breaths, rebend the knees, come back into your malasana yogi squat. Again, this should feel pretty good on the back body. And from here, come to lie down on your back. Okay, take your arms out wide to their sides. Make fists with your hands. And goalposts with the arms. I want you to push down into the elbows and shoulders so much your arms get super strong here, okay? As you push down into the elbows and shoulders, push down at your feet, and slowly begin to lift your hips up. Walk your feet together to touch. Extend your right leg up. Now on your inhale, let the hips drop an inch or two. On the exhale, push into your elbows and your left heel to lift the hips up. Do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Exhale, lift, hold it here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. Left leg up. Inhale, lower the hips an inch. Exhale, lift. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lift, and hold it here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet down, hips up, elbows down, chest up. Big breath. And then slowly we round from upper to mid to lower back. Okay. Now lift your feet up off the mat, knees bent. Keep your knees together. Open your feet out wide. Breathe here. So this just opens the low back space up. You're working on internal rotation of the hips. Good. Bring the feet together. Cross the right knee over the left knee. And then slowly let your knees fall to the left. Gaze straight up, or you can gaze over your right shoulder. Take a few breaths here. And then come back to center, unwind. We'll switch sides. Left knee over right. Knees to the right. Gaze straight up. And come back to center, unwind. Knock your knees together, walk your feet out wide, and rest here. Okay, and then just as we started class, separate your knees. Bring your feet into hips distance. Lift your hips, drop them. Lift them, drop them. Lift them, drop them. So just keep doing this over and over again, just for the next like 15, 20 seconds. Stimulating the tailbone, the low back space. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, from here, come down into Shavasana, final resting pose. So allow your body to relax on the mat. Take a deep breath in and exhale. So you can stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. I recommend taking at least 3 to 5 minutes if you've got it. And if you don't, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever you can, just be still for a few moments after your practice. So nice job. You guys killed it. Total body engagement. This is not for the faint of heart. Keep working. Come back to it. Pick it up. If it wasn't easy for you, it will get better the more you do it.